Alright, welcome back, guys. Today we're going to talk about the new guild content from 7.0 update. This time with audio, you know? It's always fun when you record 3 videos and none of them have audio because you don't check. Sometimes that happens. So let's look at what's new. So we've got Monster Subjugation, which is here. It's currently on hiatus. Here's my box from last week, which is actually the best box I've received. Let's look at 2. And then let's look at 1. 1 was my introduction to this content, and as you can see, yeah, it was not great. This is the best thing I got. This is okay, but all this is trash, and it kind of puts a sour taste in my mouth for the content in general. We can talk about the specific content here in a second, but for the rewards, if they could somehow fix this, it would be much more pleasant. Like, I don't need 40 rewards that need to be sold individually. That's not what I want in any content of this game. And I think if that had been the reward like 4 years ago, I'd be like, look at all this stuff. And it's mana, which I need. And it's 6-star runes, which are rare. But now we've kind of moved past that. Like 6-star runes are commonplace. Blue ones are all trash. Blue grinds are all trash. Having to sell individually is a pain. It used to be the norm. Now it's a pain. So it just feels like the reward section is not up to date with where the rest of the game is. And I would like them to fix stuff like this preemptively instead of in a patch down the road being like, look at this thing we give you. It's what we should have had in the first place. There's a little bit of that going on sometimes with updates. Like, they don't quite make it up to par, and then later they fix it to where it should have been, and people are like, yes, finally, this is what I wanted. And it's like, you knew what we wanted when we started, right? So what would I do to change this? I would reduce the rewards drastically. Anything that's an auto sell, just make it mana. Like, I don't need mana, but mana isn't annoying, right? So just make it a big pile of mana. Give us like 10 rewards total. Make us just have the good ones, you know? Any update to the rewards would be really well received, I think. Just make it less of a burden, less of a pain, less junk, because this is all just trash. When I see this, I'm like, yeah, whatever. So that's just the rewards. And I think the rewards are one of the major problems of this content, and it's an easy fix. The content itself is not very engaging because it's what we've seen before. It's the timed stage in Labyrinth, right? We've already done that. And we've been doing that for years and years and years. So it's the same thing with 3 different elements. And I don't know. I would like to have seen any sort of change to the format that would be something that would require theory crafting or thought or planning or discussion. And it's just not that. Like, you can slap down anything you want, and as a guild, you get the rewards, which are bad. So that's kind of a weird bit of new content, right? So, you know, what would I do there? I would probably make it more restrictive in some ways. Like, you must have, even if they did restrictions every time, only human monsters, only, you know, monsters with 4 feet, you know, only fire, only whatever, and give us some sort of challenge or bit of interest, because it comes around so rarely that it would be nice to kind of look forward to it a little bit, you know? A lot of the content, the PvE content in the game, we only look forward to the rewards. Like, I think at this point, lab is only rewards. There's no challenge to it, but the rewards are good enough. You're like, okay, lab. Whereas in this one, it's brand new. The rewards are no good. And then the content itself doesn't require any new thought. So it doesn't feel new, which is weird. It just feels like more of the same stuff we already have. So to me, that's a bit of a miss in terms of content. There was some promise there. And, you know, maybe with some tweaking, there's still hope for it. But it just feels like an extra chore. Like, on my first time I played it, I was already looking for the skip button, you know? And that is not the sign of engaging brand new content. Like, wanting to skip content at some point makes sense, but not when it first releases. Like, it's not engaging to watch. There's nothing that you can watch that matters, right? Like, when R5 came out, even regular R5, solo R5, anytime, you would watch it to see what your things were doing, to see how you could improve it. Whereas in this, it doesn't matter, right? It just doesn't matter. So, Subjugation, needs some work. All right, Guild Rival Battle. So this is the old Guild Wars, but now you can auto it all. It's just Rivals. This is also not new content. This is Rivals in Guild form. You can auto every single one. It takes no skill, no thought. So I guess for experienced players, this is trash content, right? So why not make it inaccessible to experienced players? Because the more you add content, you're adding like a burden to people that feel the need to complete everything. So in my mind, just have this available for people under level 50 or whatever, brand new people to the game, and then make it go away. Because I don't really want to do this, but I do it out of a sense of obligation to make sure we get whatever the thing is so that we get a little bit of reward from it. So just up the rewards in the stuff for the higher level players and make this only for lower level players, because it has value to lower level players. It introduces them to guild content, but for higher level players, it doesn't do any of that. So I would like to have seen this not be a thing, just because there's no challenge to it. It's kind of a waste of time. All right, so that's 2 of the 3 new things. World Guild Battle. This is interesting, and it's a little different. So I'd say this is the strongest part of the update. The best part of World Guild Battle is the frequency. It doesn't happen that often, which is amazing. One of the problems we had with guild battles, and I think a lot of people have, is just having to do it all the time and do Siege and do RTA and do all the things. But this happening only a couple times a week is awesome. It's rare. When it comes up, you're like, oh yeah, that thing. You have a little bit of, anticipation about it. We haven't had a challenging one yet. I'm assuming once the matchmaking gets better, that'll come. And I could see the challenging World Guild battles being interesting and fun, right? Things that might be fun, adding a chat feature, just like in Siege. It would be nice to chat with random guilds from all over the world one-on-one. I think that'd be fun. If they really wanted to make it new content, I think the format of 3v3, we've done that for, almost a decade? We've done that for forever, right? So maybe switch them up. My idea would be, if you have to fight a gauntlet of 5 teams, do a team of 1, a team of 2, a team of 3, a team of 4, and a team of 5, all in a row. Because anytime you change the monster count, strategies change. Monsters unlock new ways to work as a group. And it's just good content. It lends itself to theory crafting. I mean, imagine the community discussion over which monster deserves to be in your 1v1, and then which monster is the counter. And then that would evolve, Someone would put Fenyan, and then someone would put, Akaki on full vampire, and then the meta would change, and someone would put some water monster that has self-sustain. And it would just go and go and go. Which monster is best in your 2v2? And I think it would make sense, because it's round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5, like a gauntlet. 1 monster, 2 monster, 3, 4, 5. I think that would be the way to do this, because it would be new and different and interesting, and it would inspire discussion and theory crafting. That's just my opinion. The 3v3, I feel like's been done a lot, and if you're going to do a major update, why not do it now? I don't think anyone would complain about that sort of an update. So that's just my opinion. So the format's a little bit old, but the frequency is good, and fighting 5 in a row is something. It's interesting. It's different. So yeah, that would be my only suggestion there. So overall thoughts on this content. I think this content suffers from the 7.0 label. If it was not a 7.0 update, we would be like, cool, couple things new, couple things don't matter, a little bit of a switch up on the guild stuff. Cool, I'm totally down with it. If it was 6.8.4, we'd be like, all right, cool, there's still something coming up for 7.0. We're looking forward to it. It'll be great. But since this content was the 7.0, we kind of put onto that all the success the major updates have had. 6.0 was huge. It introduced new things. 5.0, 4.0, it's always a big change, and this is not that. So this content makes you feel a little bit like, oh, they really don't have a 7.0 planned. They just made this 7.0, and it's not really that different. So that'd be my main issue with it, is that I get the sense that there's not a big plan of how to evolve the game for a while, for at least a year, because we're going to have 7.1, 7.2, whatever, and it's going to be little tweaks, and then who knows what 8.0 will be. So if this was not 7.0, cool, fine, whatever. It's new, it's different, we're down for it. Since it is 7.0, disappointed, I would say, because that means, there's nothing coming down the pipe that is big. So that's kind of my summary on it. Curious what you guys think. If you have any thoughts on, some of my plans or my takes, if you completely disagree and you think all 3 bits are great, cool, let me know. And yeah, I'll see you again with another video with audio next time. Take care, everybody.